The history of our Guardian Aviation Base. In September 1943, the state defense community of the USSR made a decision about the formation a regiment which would have armed heavy bombers and aircraft TB3. For enforcement and flight crews of the regiment of heavy bombers stationed in the settlement Turba on the Amur, and 10 crews of Guard Division, which were deployed in the settlement of Antonivka in the Primorka, were sent to Polevoi Airport, the Moscow military district. Airplanes TB3 were sent from the front for completing the regiment with aircraft devices. In the result, 1017 Heavy Bombing Aviation Regiment was formed. Major Starosельce was the first regiment commander. From October 1943 to May 1944, the regiment is stationed at the airport Dobrinska near the city of Vladimir and performed tasks to provide guerrilla groups fighting behind enemy lines. From May to October 1944, the regiment was based at the airport of the city Klin, Moscow region, and was directly involved in the preparation of air landing on the airports Kalinin, Kirzhach, Teikovo, Medvedyev Ozero, performed landing of troops and fighting tech. According to the decision of the State Defense Community of the USSR in October 1944, 1017 Hard Bomber Aviation Regiment was renamed into the 51st Air Transport Regiment and relocated to the airport Mikhailovo, Kalinin city, now Tver. Here there was a formation of 21st Guards Aviation and Transport Division of the 9th Guards Air Corps of Airborne Forces of the Red Army. Major Potikayev was the new regiment commander. Lieutenant Colonel Zhukov was a chief of staff. Major General Gorsky was appointed division commander. According to the decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet in February 21, 1945, the regiment was awarded battle flag and the title of Guards. It was called the 51st Guards Aviation Transport Regiment. In March 1945, the crews of aircraft regiment overtook TB3 to Tashkent for the remelting and returned to the airport Mikhailovo after receiving new aircraft Li-2. Participation in war with Japan. After the announcement of the decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet that the Soviet Union is in a state of war with imperialistic Japan, the regiment relocated to the airport Chelbulsan in Mongolia in August 9, 1945 and performed aircraft maintenance hostilities of the 12th Air Army of the 6th Panzer Army to transport ammunition, fuel and lubricants, food, personnel and casualties. In August 16th, the regiment was rebased to the airport Tamsang-Bulak. As a part of separate group, the personnel of the regiment provides parachute landing and boarding troops for the liberation occupied cities by the Japanese troops. The flights were carried out on an unfamiliar mountain and wood line in adverse weather conditions. Only by aviation support the 6th Tank Army could move in terms of the Greater and Lesser Khingan. In August 21, 1945, the regiment was transferred to the airport Magdan on the territory of Manchuria as part of division where it continued to perform combat tasks and special government missions. In April 7, 1946, the regiment flew to the airport Harbin and performed the task connected with relocating personnel, military equipment and goods during the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Manchuria. In April 23, 1946, Air Echelon Regiment moved to the airfield Muchna in the far eastern military district, which was a part of 54 Oral Transport Aircraft Division of 10 Air Army. The post-war period. In May 15, 1946, the regiment was relocated to the airport Komsomolsk on Amur, which took up combat training course. Since the beginning of active development of the Far East and Far North, the regiment carried out flights in difficult climatic and meteorological conditions. At the low temperatures and in adverse weather conditions, the new methods of navigation over the mountains, sea, ice deserts, without the guide of the terrain in the clouds and behind the clouds, with the using of radio navigation equipment were tested. In the land of Alexandria. In August 17, 1957, the regiment was renamed into the 51st Guards Military Transport Aviation Regiment. In September 1957, the regiment personnel was rebased by land to the airfield in Alexandria, Kirovgrad region, and was a part of the Kiev military district. The military unit got new aviation equipment, Mi-4. Guard Colonel Yurchenko was the first helicopter regiment commander. According to the directive, the General Staff of the Air Forces of the USSR on November 17, 1959, the regiment was renamed into the 51st Separate Guards Helicopter Regiment and continued to perform the military service and combat tasks. The personnel always performed the task outside the Soviet Union to assist in the mastering of new aircraft, training and retraining pilots and technical staff, and in performing special tasks as advisors. In 1974, for high performances in combat and special training, the regiment got the title Excellent and the Challenge Red Flag. For 5 years, the military unit held the honorary title Excellent, and in 1979, 51st Separate Guards Helicopter Regiment was listed to the Guinness Book of Honor. In May 1980, the regiment was presented with a new battle flag and diploma of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR, providing an international assistance in the Republic of Afghanistan. In December 25, 1979, according to the decision of the government of the USSR at the request of the government of the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan, a limited contingent of Soviet troops was put on its territory. According to directive of the Minister of Defense on the USSR, on 4th January 1980, a squadron of Mi-8 51st Separate Guards Helicopter Regiment under the commanding of Lieutenant Colonel Kucherenko was sent to Afghanistan for providing international assistance. In honor of the soldiers who didn't return from the Afghanistan war, memorial obelisk was built on the territory of the military unit. It's a place of sorrow, place of memory for the fallen soldiers, airmen, place of honoring by the minute of silence. Withdrawal from the Republic of Afghanistan ended on February 15, 1989. This day is Afghans' Memorial Day. Elimination of the Chernobyl nuclear electric power station. On the night of 26 to 27 April 1986, there was the most terrible technological disaster in history. Aviation units were immediately brought to the highest combat readiness. "40 crews of Mi-6 and 12 crews of Mi-8 were transferred by the order of the Air Force Commander and rebased to the airport in Chernihiv School of Pilots by command of Regimental Commander Guards Colonel Serebryakov, and immediately started to perform tasks of liquidation of the Chernobyl accident. For the approved courage and heroism, the military unit was awarded by diploma of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR and Transitional Red Flag. On 26 April 2000, it was a 14th anniversary of the tragedy at Chernobyl, and on the territory of the aviation garrison, the first monument to liquidators of the Chernobyl accident opened with the inscription "You have defended the whole world by yourselves." In the National Guard of Ukraine. On 4th November 1991, the Parliament of Ukraine adopted the law about National Guard of Ukraine. On 1st August 1992, on the basis of 51st Separate Guards Helicopter Regiment, which was based in Alexandria, and 31st Separate Helicopter Squadron, which based in Bila Tserkva in Kyiv region, 51st Separate Helicopter Brigade of National Guard of Ukraine was formed. There were Mi-6, Mi-7 and Mi-24 of various modifications. In the new combat manual, 51st Separate Helicopter Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine continues to maintain high-quality military service and combat tasks for the purpose. Interior troops of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. On December 17, 1999, the President of Ukraine issued a decree about transferring units of the National Guard of Ukraine to other military formations. 51st Separate Helicopter Brigade joined the interior troops of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. According to the order of the Minister of Internal Affairs of Ukraine from 23 December 2003, on February 14, 2004, military unit moved to a new organizational and staffing structure and was renamed into Guards Aviation Base of Interior Troops of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. This base was armed with An-74, An-72, An-26 and Mi-8 helicopters of various modifications. National Guard of Ukraine. According to the order of the Parliament of Ukraine from 13 March 2014 about founding National Guard of Ukraine, Guardian Aviation Base joined the National Guard of Ukraine. The personnel of our unit started to participate in the ATO anti-terroristic operation on 12 April 2014. Unfortunately, one helicopter with the best pilots had been crashed near Slaviansk city, Donetsk region. Because of it, Colonel Buldovich Sergei Ivanovich and Captain Kravchenko Sergei Mykolaievich died in this terrible crash. In the end of it, I want to say that everybody have to remember that our life is very short and we should always remember people who died for our freedom.